Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a review of an independent film. It's a horror thriller directed by Chris Shern and it runs for 1 hour and 38 minutes, and that is called Vic Effects and was released in 2025. So let's go ahead and have a look at the trailer.
What truly gets people's attention, what gets their attention is rage. Yeah, the way it looks, the way it feels, especially the way it sounds.
I mean, what's it like working with Thomas Raven?
Thomas has passed away.
Wait, what?
Actually, that's why I'm here talking to you right now.
Was he working on a film?
Yeah. Actually, something a little different than what we're used to. He admired you, Vicky.
He's an idol of mine. I really just copied what he was doing.
Which is why I believe that you should finish the film. And I know Thomas would want that as well.
So what now?
I don't know. You created it.
So that was the trailer for Vic Effects. So the storyline goes, an up-and-coming Foley artist is hired to create sound effects for a horror film, but the job triggers forces that goes beyond what's on the screen. If you didn't know how important a Foley artist is in the film industry, you will soon learn what they do and how obsessive some of them can be. But they are one of the most integral components ensuring a film hits the mark. We follow the main protagonist, Vic Paulette, who is a Foley artist, which is basically the sound effect artist for films. She's being interviewed for a documentary about her job. So she mainly does the effects for horror films, and to boot, she is a perfectionist, which makes her one of the best in the industry. As she explains her craft, we get to see some horrific horror scenes from the films she has worked on, and how she's added sounds is very interesting. We meet Coop Mackey, who is the lead sound engineer, and as he explains his job. I really enjoyed the different materials she used to create the sounds, anything from percussion nuts to baby toys. Then we are introduced to Thomas Raven, who is a Foley artist and composer who seems to be obsessed with God and is a very dry and serious character. We meet Milo Kemp, who is another Foley artist who has some devastating news for the team to do with Thomas. Something very intriguing is going on when Vic is asked to finish off a film that Thomas was in the middle of filming. So this weird little man, Milo, just appeared out of nowhere, and that in itself should have been a red flag. I like the demonic undertone as it adds the element of terror and dread. There is a great sense of psychological play happening with sound. And is it potent enough to cause death? Can it, in essence, cause someone to lose their mind? We know that sound does affect people in different ways, and I like the way that this film showcases that, and because it is quite paramount in the film. So Vic has some relationship issues going on in her life that are interfering with her work, which adds flesh to the story arc, and as we wonder what is going on with her and is actually happening, because she's beginning to sense there's something not quite right about the film that she's working on for Milo. And as for him, there's something very odd about this man, which is great as it maximizes on the tension and the suspense. When she's given the sound studio to use that used to belong to Thomas, she's beside herself with joy. I like the way Milo explains that she needs to explore the essence of how sound can alter people's perceptions. We also learned some interesting thoughts about Thomas and how he worked as a Foley artist. So I enjoyed the interludes when we see Thomas, as it adds something sinister to the film because they are presented in black and white. It changes the tone. And for some reason, it actually reminds me of Nazi experiments, especially when we meet Thomas's assistant and how powerful sound can be to the psyche. Anyway, as Vic is going through the props that belonged to Thomas, we see flashback scenes of how he used them, which is a great way to reveal vital information in an artistic way. Vic is starting to wonder what exactly this film she's working on alongside Coop is, and even he is disturbed by it. So there is something going on with the props that belong to Thomas that is freaking her out. And this is great added component that elevates the film into a dangerous territory. Is she losing her mind, or has she stumbled upon a terrifying truth? It all gets mixed up and messed around when Vic's work starts leaking into her reality. There is a scene towards the end that really made me think, what would the world be like without sound? There would be no depth perception, no association to anything tangible. The world would feel bleak and meaningless. I found the ending gratifying in that what happens to Vic is incredible, and we meet another Foley artist, played by the director himself, Chris Shern, who comes on the screen and is a major twist that occurs in the storyline that I didn't anticipate, and it was very brilliantly clever. So overall, I appreciated the attention to detail. The sounds are very significant in helping to add texture to the overall feel of the film. The cinematography is profound, especially the close-up shots for a more visceral effect for the viewer. There's a good variety of different perspectives, which is great to enhance the film. The only issue I have is that at the start of the film, someone is filming a documentary, but the avenue seems to have dropped away from the storyline, almost like it's just left hanging. But besides that, I like the moments of surrealism as it adds an edge to the scene and to the scenes and advances the story arc. The use of color is excellent and changes with the shifts in moods and tones. The film might be a little bit of a slow burn, but that is because it's to set up. The setup is so delicate that in order to capture the essence of sound and the characters is essential, and I think is the whole point of the film. It also suits the purpose to formulate the mood and to gather the tension together for a fuller experience for the viewer. I have a good appreciation for Foley artists after watching this film. In fact, I didn't even know there was a term Foley artist, so I'm glad that I've been enlightened. So it's a magnificent and thoughtful film by an indie director who is clearly a master at indie filmmaking. Chris Shern is just amazing. So it says that this film is available to purchase from Amazon, and it also says it's streaming on Plex. The links that I'm going to link into the description section don't work in my country, and they probably don't work in Australia either. So I'll link them anyway, because if you're outside New Zealand and outside Australia, you should be able to have straight access to those. So I'll put those in the description, as well as the trailer again, so that you can watch that again. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's quite deep, actually. So, yeah, go ahead, check it out. I recommend it. I really liked it. There's another film, Evil Lurks, that I'm going to be reviewing. Chris Shern wrote it and Aaron Hawkins directed it. So look forward to that coming up. And I've got a couple of other reviews coming up as well. So until then, everybody, stay safe out there, take care, and until next time, bye for now.